Let's talk about operations and production management, where you produce a product, which is the idea is to sell it to the customer. Before one discusses that, the basic question is why produce? Why make something? Why not just buy and sell? Why not just do trading? Why not just do distribution? There are plenty of people who manufacture things. There are plenty of people who would make it for you on a contract basis, on a third party contract basis, contract manufacturing, that's called. Or people who would produce things for you on a job work basis. You just give them the order, they will produce it the way you want and give it to you. They will even put your brand and your stamp and everything, and you supply the product to your final customers. These guys are happy producing for you. They don't even want to know who your customers are or who your buyers are. They are happy that their factory is fully utilized and capacity is utilized, and you are buying from them. So they have set up a factory, a manufacturing setup, and they are looking for orders, and you are giving them business. So they will make it, they will customize it. There are many kinds of such setups available. They will make it for you. They will make it the way you want, whatever you want them to make. Most of the cases, they will put your brand and your brand name and your packaging, and you buy from them, and then you supply to your customers or consumers, and they don't even need to get into that part. So then why take on the hassle of manufacturing? Because manufacturing is a very complex process. It's a very complex game. It has got many issues. So getting into manufacturing or production is something that one shouldn't do lightly. One should really think very hard about it. If you can just buy it and sell it from somebody at a profit, of course, then why make it? If you make it, you are assuming that you will be the assumption would be that you are buying at X price, but you will be able to, if you do it in-house manufacturing, you will be able to produce it at lower than X price. So you'll save some money and your profit would go up. But is it going to be true? Check it out. Would you be able to have something called economy of scale? When you set up a huge factory, you produce lots of stuff, then the cost per unit of product goes down. That's called economy of scale. And that reduces your cost per component. So are you going to be able to have economy of scale? For that you will need a huge capacity investment, which you will eventually have to sell. So that's a problem. Is it going to work out? Or are you, if that is not the case, then would you be able to produce it competitively enough in terms of good quality product at affordable price or competitive price? Sometimes government reserves things for small scale and medium cottage industries and all, when only small players are allowed to operate many times. Sometimes large players are not allowed to operate, and large players can bring in economy of scale. And economy of scale is good because it brings down cost. But what about the sales part? You produce a lot of stuff at low cost, but what if you're unable to sell that? So manufacturing something is a very crucially important decision, and one shouldn't just rush into it. One can do business just by trading or marketing. You buy from somebody and you sell it at a profit to somebody else. You get it made according to your requirements, your brand name, your design, your specifications. There are people who would do it for you on a contract basis or a job work basis. So think very hard about it before you get into manufacturing something. Of course, if it is a new technology, new invention where secrecy is important, where you don't want anybody to know how you are doing it, then of course you do it in-house, because you don't want anybody else to know how you are producing something which is quite secret and unique and innovative or different. Otherwise, in most of the cases, many times trying to think that okay, I'll be able to save money and make more money may not work out. So one has to really consider it very carefully, that the same thing, like many Indian companies are finding it very difficult to compete with China. Many Indian manufacturers have found it, because China is able to supply lots of products at very cheap prices, the unique model, and Indian companies have not been able to compete or on price. Chinese are even able to sometimes give better quality. They can give good quality, I am told, if you are willing to pay the price. So their cost competitiveness is amazing. So sometimes manufacturing is a crucial game, and think very hard before getting into manufacturing or production. Don't do it just out of ego. There are people who find it very satisfying to say, I'm an industrialist, I have a factory, I'm a manufacturer. So there is a status associated with that. But status comes at a price, right? So if there is a competitive advantage in manufacturing, you will be able to produce a good quality product at a reasonable price with all the hassles of manufacturing, then it makes sense. It is proprietary secret technology, then it makes sense. Otherwise, many times just trying to save on the cost of supply or trying to cut out the money paid to the supplier and doing it in house may or may not work economically. So make or buy sort of a decision. Make it in house or buy it and sell it. And initially, anyway, people generally start with trading and marketing only. And there are people who specialize in trading and marketing and go on doing that only. There are large companies who do just marketing, and there are small companies who do just manufacturing. That model is also there. So you don't even know who's manufacturing this, but you know the big branded player. So you know that I'm buying from this guy, but who's supplying to him, you do not know. So there can be large marketing organizations and sales organizations who get their products produced somewhere else in smaller factories. And those smaller factories are happy and you don't even know or hear about them. And the large company is happy, it is getting what it wants without the hassle of manufacturing, and it is getting a reasonable amount of money. So third party manufacturing, the China factor, look at the whole internet model, it's all aggregation. Swiggy gives you food, Zomato gives you food, they don't produce food, they are just getting from somebody and giving it to you. Uber and Ola, they don't have their own cars and drivers, they're just aggregating. Oyo doesn't have hotels, it is just aggregating. So these are all brokers, middlemen, intermediaries, or marketers. They are not original producers. They don't bring new capacity into the market. Amazon doesn't produce books. There are small manufacturers who sell on these marketplaces. So this marketplace model on the internet, aggregator model, they are not manufacturers or suppliers, but they are hugely successful, many of them, e-commerce and all that players. So China factor, e-commerce, aggregator factor, sometimes one thinks whether it is worthwhile to manufacture or not. Of course, situation varies case to case, industry to industry. The major issue is think very hard before, think first about marketing or trading before getting into manufacturing. And if you have to get into manufacturing, then also look at all the possible options and think very hard, very logically before taking up that challenge. There are a lot of outsourcing is done, job work, third party manufacturing, it's called contract manufacturing, right? So don't let your ego take that decision to get into manufacturing. And then once you make up your mind, then of course the story changes. So manufacturing, getting into production or manufacturing, business is one thing, but business can be done not necessarily only by producing. You can sell, you don't have to produce, somebody produces it. So business doesn't mean you have to produce, business means you have to sell, right? That we have discussed. And you don't necessarily have to make what you are selling. Selling is also business, trading is also business, marketing is also business. So think hard. We'll talk about this subject in the next vlogs. Thank you.